Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith. He was 6 years old when he saw most of that. A few deleted scenes there, but saw most of that. So essentially, he's starting the next generation of Star Wars collectors, Star Wars fans. The Clone Wars. That's another media that Lucasfilm is utilizing. So as long as that franchise continues to develop, potentially with this live action series, the Clone Wars continue on for at least a third season. They're writing for the 5th season. With the internet, again, a huge advantage of the computers, the technology brings us all closer together. Being in Western Canada, Australia, we're very, very isolated there.
Yeah, the early days of collecting for me, I was on my own pretty much. There were very few almost no other collectors that I knew. The isolation makes it so no one can really get together. So there's very few clubs. No one gets together to discuss everything. It's also, I found, down under a little more competitive, perhaps, maybe because of the lack of product. And I found, I don't know, it's just a little more competitive. And I first came here for Celebration 3, and it was just awesome. I'd been chatting with a lot of these guys, Isaac, for a long time, and just via email. And I don't know, I guess I thought it'd be nice to finally put faces to names and to email addresses. But I didn't expect it to be so great. How wonderful it is to meet everyone and their lovely lives, and how strong that community is. And now I'm more driven by the community than the toys. That they mean a lot less to me than interacting with my friends.
Mark is absolutely right. For me, the community is a big deal. I began collecting, like I said, when I was about 15 years old, maybe 13 or 15. And I started talking to all these collectors online and meeting them virtually, chatting and emailing and so on and so forth.
All the good things that a teenage boy should be doing.
Exactly right. So I remember my parents being like, "Who are you talking to online?" And one of the first people I ever met was Chris Dragoulias, who was in charge of the cereal boxes, one of the many people in charge of the cereal boxes for this convention. And I remember he was coming into a flight. This was pre-9/11, and you could go to the airport and see people at the gate. And he was stopping over in Atlanta, which is where I'm from. And I insisted that I wanted to go meet Chris Dragoulias at the airport. I guess I was 15 or 16 at the time. And my dad came with me, and we met. And the point is that now I'm here doing this panel basically because I became involved in the community and met a lot of fellow collectors. Everyone at this panel is through the collecting community. That's the reason I'm here. And the middle picture in there is from 2 years ago. Me and Chris went to, and Oscar and a couple of Mark, or a bunch of other people were here down for the FX show here in Orlando, and we went to Universal Studios and we rode the Hulk 6 times, so that's what we're doing there. And so it just goes beyond the collecting itself. And I would encourage each and every one of you who are interested in collecting to meet a fellow collector, maybe after this panel, and just talk to us. We're always willing to talk. And get more involved. I think you'll find that it's a rewarding experience, and it definitely helps your collecting itself. You get a lot of cool stuff that you wouldn't be offered otherwise, but you also form a lot of great relationships with people. And I think that's what these pictures are there for. And Mark will give you free hugs too as well.
The websites, Rebels Cup Forum, Fan Force, all these things are great places. We've also got Facebook now, Twitter, good or bad for that. Lots of conventions going on. We've got fan days, small local events. Getting out, meeting these people, talking to them online, staying connected, even when it's very tough. Some people are a little slower on the emails over here. But getting out and reaching that community, staying close, it's a huge part of it. And again, like even with these panels, think about Celebration 5 itself, there's a number of events that are major events that are being undertaken here, and they're really done by fans for the fans. Official Picks would be likely the biggest one there. Philip Wise is a huge Star Wars fan, and he developed this whole business within the Star Wars community, the community that he loves. The collector panels, all the sponsorship for the cereal box, the free cereal boxes, all that sponsorship was provided by fans for the fans. Gus and Duncan, the books that they generate, the presentations that they're giving outside of the series here, there's no shortage of things. You've got Sky with the Kiev cast. You've got lots of other publicists as well. Shane Turgeon, who's running the tattoo event. So tons and tons of things, all by the fans. 501st is another monster one. So, reaching out to that community, being involved, whether it's an actual Star Wars event or just a, team building or group building exercise, it's all good fun. A lot of us, we're heading to Disney World. Tomorrow we're going to spend a bunch of days there together as a group, again, because we're, such good friends, so.
Yeah, the community really boils down to two sides. There's the collecting side, and then there's the sort of outside of collecting. Inside collecting, it really boils down to Chris G's famous quote, "You cannot collect in a vacuum." You have to have friends, you have to have fellow collectors to hook up with, trade with, help each other get stuff. And then outside of the collecting world is where the true friendships are formed, and that just reinforces everything. And what is the state of the Star Wars collecting community? Are we in danger? Is this an endangerment to our hobbies?
Yeah, I guess what does everyone in here think? Do we have enough fans in this room to keep us going? Like I said, with events like this, with fans, contributing to these events, next celebration, whenever Sandspeed announces that. Has anybody asked them that yet? When's Celebration 6? Those things, there'll be even more events by fans, for the fans of these things, and that's what will continue to drive Star Wars collecting for all the different aspects of the hobby.
So we've talked about a lot of warning signs that possibly indicate the potential end of Star Wars collecting. Which way is it going to go? Are we doomed to destruction soon? Are the lasers incoming? Or are we getting ready to celebrate?
Come on, are we getting ready to celebrate?
Well, all right. We have a lot of happy life days to look forward to. Yes, Star Wars, as you know, is unlike any other, in terms of collectibles, Star Wars is unlike any other licensing entity out there. Star Wars has spanned generations.
It's a global phenomenon. I mean, it embedded our culture so heavily in the 70s when it came out. We've got future generations collecting. Hopefully the next generation will be collecting as well. And again, Lucasfilm, as long as they're continuing to provide us Star Wars in a new media, whether it's the original series in 3D or whatever they plan on doing, more animated series, live action series, there's always going to be new product, new merchandising, and that'll just continue to intrigue us, help develop our sense of community, keep on rolling.
Star Wars toys, as you know, have been on the shelves for 15 years straight. I don't think any other licensing property comes close to that.
We didn't say you could get up yet.
But we are going to revisit this issue at Celebration 10 in the year 2030. So I'll be back. I want to see all of you back, and we're going to do it again.
If you have any questions, come on up here. I'm going to be able to do it with everybody standing up now.